Okay, welcome back to the shop. So today, we're going to take a look at something new. We got one of these fancy Milwaukee top-offs, and what this thing does is it is a mini 120 volt inverter or USB charger. Pretty neat idea. It is not a very high wattage. It only is rated for 175 watts. So don't think you're going to plug in your old corded drills and run them or anything like that. That's not the intention of this. This is just for smaller 120 volt sources. Predominantly this is aimed towards charging of devices, thus the name Top Off. But either way, I think it's a pretty neat product. We got one to play around with here in the shop. They even threw the super handy rafter hook on there. Sure, why not? You have your regular USB port here. And the fancy, I think that's Apple's whatever, take over the world jack or something like that. It looks like there's probably an indicator light perhaps in here that it's getting hot. And one that's just going to tell you that it's probably hot. It is fan cooled. I've been playing around with it a little bit. The fan will cycle and turn on and off. If you want to just turn on the USB, you push the USB button, you can see it illuminates there. And off, it's pretty obvious. And then here we go, you can hear it flashes up. And you have 120 volt available right there. So we'll give it a good voltage check here with the old Fluke 87. We'll just put the probes in here. There we go. Oh, not a screen there. There we go. Probes in. 116 volts. 116.8. Not really low, but it's not bad. That's about what you would expect to see in something like this. Not really a big deal. And we switched her over to Hertz So Good here, and we got 61.33 Hertz. And I think what we'll do is we'll see if we can hook this up to the old oscilloscope here and see if we can see the waveform. I am by no means an aficionado on oscilloscopes. I'm still very steeply on that learning curve. But we'll see if we can get a waveform out of it and maybe see what we think. Alright, we'll give this a go. So we made up one of the good old-fashioned dead man walking chords. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what we did. We just got two open leads hooked up to the oscilloscope. Not going to show all that. But we'll plug that into the inverter. Turn it on. And we can see the peaks in it. And I don't know if this is me not having the scope set right, or if this is indeed just what this is doing, giving you a high, a middle, and a low reference on this vector, I guess it would be called. I'm not really, like I say, I'm not at all efficient with the terminology or anything with oscilloscopes, but I do believe we got ourselves a waveform here that we can see. Not quite exactly what I expected to see, but it is indeed a waveform. So we can turn up the intensity there a little bit. See if that helps out. Actually, it doesn't seem like it does. Maybe we could turn that down. Yeah, I think you guys get the idea. So I don't know if they're advertising as pure sine wave or not. It does not appear as though they are. We'll take a look at what they show here with the literature, and I just thought I'd play around with the oscilloscope and see if we could get something to show up, and we did. So that's always a good time. And we're back. So here's the marketing wank out of the package. It says power is up to 175 watts, 120 volt. I don't know how we test that, but it does definitely put out 120 volts. Well, 116.8 according to the Fluke 87. And I do believe this is more the market they're going towards. You may want to be able, plug in your laptop, the fan, depending on what kind it is. That may even be a stretch, but we would see. Cell phone chargers, everything like that. That's kind of the idea of this market, and it makes sense. I mean, if you need to charge computers or anything like that out in the field, if you've ever been in that situation, you understand that it's a pain, and that this is a decent alternative for that. And the fact that they went to the effort to put some fan cooling in there helps, hopefully, to save on the electronics. What else do we got here? Some ideas of run times, I guess, here, or how many charges. So a regular cell phone on a 2 amp hour battery, I guess, would be about 2.5 charges or something. I don't know. Tablets, 2 amp hour, you wouldn't get a full charge out of it, I guess. Oh yeah, I see you could run, small electronics. I don't know how those small electronics would be with the sine wave that we saw, but then again, maybe I didn't have the scope adjusted right, so I'm sure maybe somebody will tell me if I did or not. Learning curve there, so no authority. So here they're just telling you what they have. It's continuous wattage, 175 watt power source, any M18 battery, and USB-A, USB-C. That's what I called the Apple thing. Decent amount of current out of them. That's a good thing. It should charge relatively fast. And one 120 volt receptacle, and it just telling you that in another language. So overall, I think it's an interesting tool, neat idea, something I'll play around with here, and it's nice to have things like this in the arsenal. I really would love to see a M18 inverter that you can run the old 120 volt tools off of. Doesn't need to be an enormous inverter, but something that just is big enough to run some of the corded tools that nobody wants to get rid of, but you could basically make them cordless. I don't know, maybe we'll have to make our own M18 inverter one day, but here's hoping that maybe they'll come up with something like that one day. Anyway, fun new thing to check out. I think it's relatively well put together. It doesn't feel overly flimsy or anything, and design looks relatively decent. Fitment's not super bad or anything like that. It's about what you'd expect for what you get there. So hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.